When the first ray of sunlight hits the glasses in the morning. Big Brother's Repair Shop. A guy on a Suzuki motorcycle brought today's first order to open business. In layman's terms, this is a motorcycle accessory. A brake drum in the middle of a float wheel. What's wrong with this brake bone? Look carefully. The position where the bearing is installed has been cracked and deformed. Even a few pieces have been lost. This thing, it's an aluminum piece. It's not the kind of iron we usually see. The reason why it is damaged and repaired. The main thing is that the bearing is installed very loosely. That is, what we often call bearings. Put it in and go for foreign aid. Don't look at it, it's an aluminum part. Although it is better to get off the tool. The texture is also relatively soft, once processed. Far more difficult than processing steel. Don't ask me why I know. When you fix this thing, you will understand. This accessory is going to be repaired today. How to deal with it. There are 2 faults in this paragraph. Fill in the previous exercise position. There is also a lying hole in the middle. Redo the hole. Easy to install bearings. After that, the bearing will not loosen when installed. No foreign aid. It's already in the garage. Pick your spot. Optimistic about concentric. Before continuing with the next work. Start making knives now. Adjust an angle of the turning tool. In order to facilitate the overall order of the knife. The first step is to do the side where the car sails are damaged. And you end up making a surface like this. And then, what about the internal rotation? Try to cut as many as possible here. Specific inner diameter. You can refer to the diameter of the later filling. It looks like this size is not enough. Need to continue to undo. So this is done internally with a marker. Once you put the marker on, everybody knows for sure. It's a company. With a marker, it's meant to be a reference. First knife. Second knife. Third knife. Fourth knife, fifth knife. After 5 knives, the inside of the thread is clearly visible. Continue measuring with threaded silicone. After meeting the standards of cooperation, it is okay. What about this step? Wait for backup. And then finally the other part. This is a whole aluminum bar. It is also a lower material. Use it today to make a filling. Make a fortune. First you have to adjust the angle. Find the brass. It is convenient for the next operation. Since copper rods are processed, the overall processing speed is very fast. Unlike some iron, this attachment also needs to be returned and annealed in advance. Otherwise, the knife head will not go down, so no bayonet. We've done the cutoff plane first. Now we need to measure the depth of a thread and a bump on the outer surface. After the parameters of these 2 distances are determined, before going up, the first knife removes the length of the entire skin. Cut to as long as the actual data okay. Measure the outer diameter of the ancient temple president. After the combination, there is no need to cut the rear. It seems that 2 more knives are needed. That's pretty much it at this point. Sandpaper is sanded to make its surface smooth. Continue to undo. What this part does is the filler. An external thread needs to be made on its surface. Upper marker. It seems that the size is already suitable. First knife, second knife. The third knife technique is very different. Take advantage. Start docking now. Check if the thread can be used normally. After confirming that it is correct, before you can continue to enter the ear. It doesn't seem to work. Go ahead and do it again. In fact, a knife should be attached to the dragon's gate. Make a small break. This is convenient to have threads. This thing should be screw glue. I don't know if it was sold on a certain tone. The kind of glue sticks to the world and sticks to the ground. It can also stick air in the middle. Can stick iron, can stick glue. Stick to the train and don't fall off the track. It is estimated that it is similar to that kind of glue. Apply this glue to the thread. It is estimated that after applying it, looking at this effect, it should not be welded again. And they finally begin to join the fingers. Screw it to the end and get rich. Just wait for the glue to set. Turn the garage again. Look at the overall beat volume and concentricity. It doesn't look obvious. It seems that the repair was very successful. Start processing the other end now. To deal with this part, you need to leave a step. You know, there was a step in the previous position. There is a position where the equipment was good before, as a reference. The cutting position needs to be outside the reserved position. In layman's terms, it's just next to each other. Finally, cut it directly along this gap. And then finally, a hacksaw. To make a complete revocation. It has now been revoked. But it's far from over. Tidy up the outer screen volume. Put on the drill and prepare the garlic mouth. It's an aluminum product after all. Broken bones are easier. The overall speed still seems to be relatively fast. Continue to replace the drill bit. This is an extra large model. On the drill tube side, the local masters are divided into two types. One is to like to use this drill. The little bit, the big bit, keeps changing back and forth. What about the other one? I like to use the knife directly inside, directly dig it out. What about this situation? Generally, it is based on the personal habits of the master. The belt here is inconvenient to balance. Anyway, the final effect is actually the same. At this moment, due to the large diameter of the hole, it is convenient to get off the knife. This is the front wheel bearing on a motorcycle. At this moment, it is necessary to accurately measure the outer diameter of the bearing before the next fine car repair. Micrometer do a docking. Further revocation can only be made after the comparison is completed. Keep cutting. Undoing at this moment requires a careful battle. You don't need to be too cruel. Measure while undoing. At this moment, I need to compare the bearings. Just be just right at the moment. Never let the bearings fit into the storm. That would be all for nothing. How about this? After polishing, you will end it as soon as possible. In fact, the problem I am a little worried about at this step is that there is no welding at the joint of the two aluminum parts. Will it cause loose contact later? It's really hard to say. To be honest, send it once. There are a lot of motorcycles in the area. Like the problem with this accessory today. I feel like there should be dismantling parts. It takes so long to repair. You really don't need to change it directly. That's it. This repair is basically over today. For today's repair link. How do you feel? Like video, like, comment, favorite, forward. You can also long press like to strongly recommend the video. Thanks for your attention. See you next time.